Story appears ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and welcome to CoreTV Primetime News. I am Frank Omalape. In our major story, community military deny widespread reported release of abducted Chibok schoolgirls. Also in this program, APC lawmakers at the House of Representatives stage walked out after failure to debate seized $9.3 million in South Africa. Rivers PDP factions in free-for-all over role of Nyesom Wike ahead of 2015 governorship election. Outside Nigeria now, President Barack Obama commends action as United States and 5 Arab allies launch airstrikes against Islamic State militants in Syria. Thank you for joining us tonight. We begin. A bus conveying 57 Chibok schoolgirls that had escaped from Boko Haram was intercepted by the military in Biu, Borno State on Tuesday. The chairman, Chibok community in Abuja, Sam Bido Mbana, says the girls were being taken to Maiduguri for safety reasons. When their bus was stopped by troops, were assumed that they were the ones in Boko Haram captivity. According to him, the girls were those who escaped from the insurgents about a week after their school was raided, with about 250 of them abducted. Another Chibok indigene, Peter Elias, stated that the information available to him indicated that 57 Chibok girls who were being taken to their new school in Kaduna were intercepted by troops who became suspicious of the huge number of girls in the buses. He explained that the military escorted the buses back to Maiduguri, and the resident who saw the convoy assumed that the 219 girls in Boko Haram captivity had been released. There were some report in some quarters that the girls who were abducted by Boko Haram on April 14, 2014 had been released. Now, in a related issue, Nigeria's military authorities have denied reports of the release of some of the 219 abducted Chibok schoolgirls. Some online media have reported that the girls been driven into Maiduguri barracks, quoting the defense spokesman Chris Olukolade. But a few minutes later, the defense quarters took to Twitter to deny the girls' release. There are indications that some girls were driven into the barrack in 2 small buses on Tuesday evening. Away from that now, the Nigerian military and their Cameroonian counterparts have been laying claims to the alleged killing of Boko Haram leader Ibrahim Shekau. The situation has generated reactions from Nigerians. Speaking on our flagship program called Digest, public affairs analyst Bala Zaka says the military should not be struggling to convince the public on who killed the Boko Haram leader. He advised the authorities to focus on boosting the morale of the troops.
When you look at accounts now, you know, of the 2 different forces of the 2 different countries, yes, it's good to show your dexterity and creativity, but this is not the time. We are still on, it's not yet El Dorado. We are still on the path to achieving total victory. What, like he rightly said, What people should be interested in now is that moral booster from wherever place it came. It should be sustained, and if possible, we should up the moral booster. It could have been by way of incentives. It could have been through data gathering. It could have been through a system where both sides of the continent or these countries are just getting tired. It's possible that they are seeing depletion in their total or general economic well-being, and they feel we need to confront this monster.
A political analyst, Razak Olukwaba, urges the Nigerian military and people in the northeast to be more proactive and vigilant so as to prevent further attacks by the insurgents.
Instead of celebrating the death of Shekau, if he has actually died, what we should be looking at is how we are actually going to end insurgency, what led to it in the first instance, and for us to have that what is called eternal vigilance. And the government should be vigilant. The people in that region should also be vigilant, and the military should also be very, very vigilant.
Members of the All Progressive Congress in the House of Representatives have staged a walkout after failing to get their colleagues to debate the controversial $9.3 million seized by the South African authorities. The bid by the opposition legislators to force a debate on the matter failed after a voice vote went in favor of legislators who were opposed to the motion. APC members immediately walked out of the House.
I'll put the question on this motion because I've said we're not going to debate it for reasons cited by Honorable Kau. We'll not debate it, so I just put the question. If the motion is carried, we'll refer it to the appropriate committees. My dear colleagues, those in favor of this motion, say aye. Aye. Those against, say nay. Then let's have it.
Why the Senate has begun a probe of the $9.3 million seized by South African authorities from 2 Nigerians and 1 Israeli in a private jet, but it has also said the money belonged to the federal government. A chairman, Senate Committee on Defense and Army, George Sekibo, disclosed this to journalists after a 2-hour-long closed-door meeting with service chiefs. He added that the Senate would address the media on its findings at the end of the investigation. On the death sentence passed on 12 soldiers charged with mutiny, Sekibo insisted that the Senate is not under pressure to interfere in a purely military matter. He, however, voted that the convicted soldiers could still get reprieve if their appeal succeeds. Senate President David Mark has denied making the comments credited to him by the All Progressive Congress on the possibility of postponing the 2015 general elections. He insisted in a statement issued in Abuja that he never called for the election to be postponed. The Senate President recalled that in the day senators resumed from their annual recess, he argued that the issue of elections should be addressed during a debate and not election matters. Senator Mark consequently urged APC to desist from misleading the public. A meeting organized by some members of the Rivers State People's Democratic Party to express their views over the party's decision not to zone the governorship position in 2015 elections was temporarily disrupted by a group of persons suspected to be working for Nyesom Wike-led faction of the party. At least 9 persons were injured in the fracas that ensued when the group of persons stormed Delta Hotel in Old GRA, venue of the meeting, at about 12:30 p.m. on Tuesday and engaged in a free-for-all. The two groups threw chairs and other dangerous objects at each other, even as workers at the hotel watched in disbelief the action of the politicians. The faction of the state PDP are operating under the auspices of the concerned Rivers State PDP stakeholders also had a press conference to call for the dissolution of the State Working Committee of the party, chaired by Felix Uboa. Calm, however, returned when a group of policemen stormed the venue and stopped the fight between the two factions. You're watching CoreTV News at prime time. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll bring you more stories. Stay with us.
As a doctor, I've seen lots of mothers. Now, I'm one myself. Other mothers have taught me things only a mother could know. But when it came to relieving their baby's pain and fever, many mothers don't know what to do. So I told them about Panadol Children. Panadol Children is fast and effective, and it can be taken from when they're 3 months old. I'm still learning to be a mother, and it's getting better every day. New Panadol Children, fast and effective relief from pain and fever.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe, and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
Glad to have you back on the CoreTV Primetime News. Reactions have begun to trail Monday's gruesome attack unleashed on the Ekiti State High Court sitting in Ado-Ekiti. The attack, which didn't spare lawyers, court staff, and litigants, was carried out by hoodlums suspected to be party thugs. They disrupted the sitting of Justice Isaac Oguyemi in the case deciding the eligibility of Governor-elect Dele Fayose. Rashid tracks these reactions and filed in this report.
The APC and the PDP have been at loggerhead over the inglorious incident. The APC is speaking through Governor Kayode Fayemi, who was on inspection of the damaged court building on Tuesday, described the act of the hoodlums as embarrassing, as the PDP denies that Fayose has hand in the mayhem.
For us as a state, we're embarrassed because in 4 years we have done nothing but to respect the independence of our judiciary.
The case that came up on Monday was disrupted by angry Ekiti people who voted voluntarily for Fayose, alleging partiality on the part of Justice Segun Oguyemi.
Fayemi, lamenting the show of shame, describes it as a slap on the judiciary. The PDP, however, expresses reservations over Fayemi's utterances and called his reaction a planned scheme to scuttle the swearing-in of Fayose as governor come October 16.
Every right-thinking lawyer must see what happened yesterday as an assault on his own profession and himself. And every judge, too, must be worried.
Governor Kayode Fayemi earlier had a secret meeting with the state chief judge and Justice Segun Oguyemi where it was resolved that the swearing in of the governor-elect should be scuttled through black market judgment.
Fayemi also raises fear that Ekiti is about to be enveloped in another 4 years of crisis, a notion dismissed by the PDP, which describes Fayose as a peace-loving man who had no hand in the court invasion.
And I hope this is not the path Ekiti is returning to. A path of brigandage, a path of criminality, a path of one week, one trouble, in which thugs and criminals take over the state.
And Fayose did not send anybody. These people, they came voluntarily, saying that their hope was about to be scuttled, and they tried to prevent that their hope being scuttled.
The police have meanwhile arrested 6 persons in connection with the mayhem.
In all, 6 of them were apprehended yesterday, and as I speak to you, they've been charged to court this morning, and they are facing the music. Let me also add that they have been charged to court on 5-count charge. One, it has to do with conspiracy to obstruct the course of justice, attempt to obstruct and prevent the course of justice, causing disturbance in the course of judicial proceeding, intentional disrespect to persons before whom judicial proceeding is being undertaken, and malicious damage.
The court invasion by the hoodlums will continue to generate more reactions within and outside the state as tension mounts on both sides of the divide. Rashid, CoreTV News, Ekiti.
The defection saga blowing within the Labour Party circle in the southwest may have started a new round of crisis between factions in its Ogun State chapter. Chairman of the party in the state, Niyi Oshoba, and chieftain Bode Simeon led faction are at loggerhead over whether former governor of Ogun State, Benga Daniel, has levied fold for the PDP. Olajumoke Olantoji completes this story.
The Niyi Oshoba faction of the party says it is not bothered by the recent resignation of the national chairman of the Labour Party, Dan Nwanyanwu, and the alleged defection of 2 of its national leaders in the person of Governor of Ondo State, Olusegun Mimiko, and the former governor of Ogun State, Benga Daniel. The Ogun State chapter of Labour Party seems not to be moved. Oshoba, however, described as speculation and unfounded, the defection being banded around the party chieftains.
His Excellency Benga Daniel, the former governor of Ogun State, and the leader of the Labour Party in Ogun State has not gone to PDP. Neither has he gone to any other party. He is still a bona fide member of Labour Party Ogun State and the leader of Labour Party in Ogun State, as I'm talking to you. But that does not mean, however, that the party leadership and the ESCO in the state has not given the mandate to liaise and discuss with other parties in Ogun State that believe in our ideology, that's social democracy, and that believe in our project, AMG Amos must go.
Despite the fact that some of its chieftains in the state claim Labour Party is devoid of rancor, the financial secretary of the Bode Simeon-led group, Abayomi Arabambi, stated that Daniel's defection is true and a sign that the Labour Party is back to sanity.
Decision, the Excellency Governor of Ondo State, is his personal decision if you want to join PDP. That's not the decision of the other 35 states of the Federation. You can see it is only in Ondo State they've been, happy on this issue. They want to join Labour, PDP. But one fact remains, he led PDP to come to Labour Party. So whatever he felt, sent him away from PDP, if he felt the ground is clear, the coast is clear for him to return, that is on his own volition, and the people of Ondo State that are with Governor Mimiko. It does not affect us here. Regarding the outgoing chairman and the outgoing secretary, we also have it on good authority that they also plan to defect with him, but that is not going to affect us. OGD is no more part of Labour Party in Ogun State. It's another part of PDP with Prince Kashamu Buruji.
Meanwhile, political gladiators in the state have also begun to realign their objectives and position themselves ahead of the 2015 general elections. Olajumoke Olantoji, CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
Public and private schools in Abuja recorded low turnout as they opened for new academic session. This was the situation at many of the schools. CoreTV News visited. Pai Samuel reports.
This is the junior secondary school in Asokoro, one of Abuja's well-known public schools. Located in the High Broad district, the school has a population of over 200 students. But on a day schools are expected to resume in line with government's directive, this particular school looks empty. This block of classrooms are clearly not opened on the first day of the school year.
We have really resumed. The turnout is encouraging because I never knew that students will come. Some other states are not resuming. Some schools, like Unity schools, are not resuming. So the conflicting information is confusing to the students. But they came. I had at least close to 120 students today.
The resumption date had generated a lot of comments from some quarters. And on resumption, the first thing the few students that showed up were introduced to is the Ebola virus. These students say she has learnt more on the virus in school today, and she is ready to take precautions.
Ebola is a virus that people don't expect it to happen. It's like it appears from nowhere. I got Ebola from someone who is sick or dead.
Now, some parents are still not comfortable with the resumption date in the FCT. Some say no adequate measure is in place to check possible outbreak of Ebola. But this principal was quick to reel out some preventive measures put in place by the authorities.
They have really sensitized the teachers. One, we had some programs last week for the head teachers and the teachers. And some gadgets had been given to us, like the thermometer for checking the temperature of the individual and the container for running water. And some, what is it called? Sanitizer and washing soap, liquid soap. They're here with us. Then some flyers were given, which we had already pasted. And we sensitized the students this morning that they should not be afraid of the virus. It's not something that moves in air. It's by body contact, fluid contact, so they should not be afraid. They should tell their parents that we have really resumed. Even we had some lessons today.
The government has already said there are no new cases of Ebola virus in Nigeria, and for the head of this school, it is a clarion call to maintain a high level of hygiene. Pai Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take another break and return with business news with Sabina Izopu. Stay with us.
As a doctor, I've seen lots of mothers. Now, I'm one myself. Other mothers have taught me things only a mother could know. But when it came to relieving their baby's pain and fever, many mothers don't know what to do. So I told them about Panadol Children. Panadol Children is fast and effective, and it can be taken from when they're 3 months old. I'm still learning to be a mother, and it's getting better every day. New Panadol Children, fast and effective relief from pain and fever.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Core
Hello there, welcome to the World of Business with me, Sabena Izuku. The Federal Capital Territory Administration and 4 land swap investors have signed an agreement for 170 billion naira worth of infrastructures in some parts of the capital city. The FCT Minister Bala Mohammed signed the agreement on behalf of the federal government at a ceremony on Tuesday in Abuja. He said the money, which will roll in form of private sector collaboration within a short period of time, cannot be assessed through budgetary allocation in 4 to 5 fiscal years. The minister described the event as a landmark, one that will open up more districts in the Federal Capital Territory. He added that 500 additional investors have shown interest in participating in Abuja Land Swap Initiative. Earlier, the Executive Secretary of the Federal Capital Development Authority, Adamu Ismaila, had noted that the land swap deal has in 2 years solved the problem of dwindling funding of infrastructure in the territory. Central Bank of Nigeria says it has in the past 1 year compelled erring banks to refund the sum of 17 billion naira fund illegal deduction and other unauthorized transactions to customers. The Director, Consumer Protection Department of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Malam Usman Duse, who was represented by Hajia Khadija Kazim, stated this in Calabar earlier in the week at the commencement of 1 week consumer public enlightenment and sensitization program. Said since the upgrading of the Consumer Protection Unit in the bank to a department in 2012, over 5,500 complaints have been lodged by customers, which led to the directive by the CBN after investigation for the money to be refunded to customers. He said customers should regularly scrutinize their bank statements and other banking transactions. The purpose of 1 week public enlightenment campaign is to teach the public basic financial issues so that they can have confidence in the banking system, which will lead to the attainment of the objectives of building a safe, sound, and stable financial system in the country. The Central Bank of Nigeria has urged the Banking Institute to come out with good suggestions that will improve the payment systems in the country. It says weak risk management framework and security issues are among the major challenges affecting the electronic payment system in the country. While speaking at the 8th Annual Conference of the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria in Abuja on Tuesday, the CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele, who was represented by the CBN Deputy Governor Sarah Alade, disclosed that some of the challenges facing the Nigerian payment system are resistance of targeted customers to patronize and embrace new products, high operational cost, interoperability and interconnectivity of networks, low level of card usage on point of sale, non-transparent pricing, among others. He tasked the bank to consolidate on remarkable achievements in the recent past the payment system in the country had witnessed. Emefiele said in the wholesale payment sector, a new real-time gross settlement system in December 2013 replaced the old that was used for over 7 years, adding that an efficient payment system will go a long way to strengthen the growth and develop of the nation's economy. The Naira on Monday weakened by 55 kobo against the dollar at the interbank market in spite of Central Bank of Nigeria intervention through foreign exchange auction. The CBN on Monday offered a total of $350 million, but sold a total of $349.9 million, to 22 deposit money banks at rates of 155 naira 75 kobo per dollar as its twice weekly Dutch auction system. Consecutively, the local currency on Monday closed at 163 naira 85 kobo per dollar as against 163 naira 30 kobo on Friday last week, according to data obtained from financial market dealer quotation. Analysts had anticipated sustained pressure on the local currency this week in spite of expected dollar sale from oil companies. The Naira had depreciated substantially on the interbank market in the past 2 months. as noted by the Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiele during the last week's interest rate setting meeting, citing risks from decline in global oil prices and domestic production. Brent crude oil fell below $98 a barrel on Monday, dropping for the third session in four, as weak demand and ample supplies outweighed expectations of a cut in oil output from the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. And on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, the equity transaction on the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a bearish note today. The all shares index dipped by 1.09% to close at 40,537.20 basis points. Market capitalization decreased and closes at 13.38 trillion naira. In all, a total of 294.39 million shares, valued at 3.49 billion naira, were exchanged in 5,097 deals. Report shows that Mobil Oil topped the gainers chart, followed by Owando, Eco Transnational Incorporated, Carventin, and African Prudential. On the other hand, GlaxoSmithKline plc topped the losers chart, followed by Nigerian Breweries, Dangote Cement, PZ, and Guinness plc. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trades. And that's it on business news. Franco Molapel will be back with the rest of the news. Please stay with us.
This is Judiciary Today.
The judiciary's function is to interpret the law. The judge in Lagos State is perhaps one of the most comfortable judges in the world.
You don't say because we are fighting terrorists or fighting terror, then you go about violating people's rights. We're not going to allow that in this country.
I think that's one of the reasons why
so that's what lawyers do.
I didn't say that what lawyers do.
The TV show that brings you in-depth review and analysis of judiciary issues that affect you.
Want police officers to welcome victims with empathy and not say, what were you wearing? Where did you go? What were you doing at 10 p.m. at night?
As the Nigerian judiciary mounts one of their own.
He has gone to court on behalf of Nigerian citizens even without taking a cover.
It is time for lawyers to take their health very seriously, lawyers and judges.
Only on CoreTV.
Thank you for staying tuned. It's still CoreTV Primetime News. In sport now, Nigeria coach Stephen Keshi has disclosed his list of call-ups for the AFCON qualifier against Sudan next month will be released next week. Keshi, who is still without a contract, says it's still too early to come out with a list, but it's currently working on one. However, the coach will not say whether he would be ringing changes to the squad that fell in Calabar to Congo and drew to South Africa in Cape Town. Keshi noted that his contract talks have stalled because of the protracted leadership tussle in Nigerian football. Nigeria battle Sudan away and home next month in continuation of the 2015 AFCON qualifiers. The African champions are in danger of not qualifying for next year's tournament in Morocco, as they are in third place with solitary point after 2 matches. 3 players were aiming for the top scorer award in the Nigerian League score goals in week 27 games to mount pressure on leading marksman Igor Daro Saguna. The former 3SC striker still leads the goal chart with 14 goals, but failed to score in week 27 when Rangers beat Warri Wolves 1-0 on Sunday. He is closely followed by Peter Ebobo-Women of Bayelsa United with 13 goals. Bola Salami of Warri Wolves, who is on 12 goals, missed the week 27 game against Rangers game due to suspension. But Enyimba top scorer Mfomnodo scored his 12th goal this season in Enyimba's 4-0 thrashing of Bayelsa United. Adamu Hassan increased his goals tally to 11 following his winner for Pillars in 1-0 win over Akwa United. Abia Warriors star Peter Onyekachi grabbed his 10th goal in a 3-1 lose at Sunshine Star. Dolphin striker Emin Udrok scored in a 2-0 win over Gombe to reach the 9-goal mark, while Giwa FC star Shaibu Ibrahim netted a brace in a 3-0 version of FC Taraba to also hit 9 goals. Now away from there now, following surgery on his left ankle, Arsenal defender Matthew Debuchy is said to be out of action for approximately 3 months, according to club manager Arsene Wenger. The France international suffered the injury after falling awkwardly in Arsenal 2-2 Premier League draw at home to champions Manchester City on September 13. The 29-year-old fullback Debuchy, a €12 million pre-season signing from Newcastle, has since undergone surgery. In Debuchy's absence, Arsenal won 3-0 away to Aston Villa last Saturday, a result that helped leave the North London club fourth in the Premier League table, 4 points behind leaders and capital rivals Chelsea. And in Formula One now, Lewis Hamilton is determined to keep his run of success going and satisfy his ambition to win at Suzuka. The Mercedes driver has won the last 2 Grand Prix to move into the championship lead, but has never won at Japan's classic circuit. Hamilton won the Japanese Grand Prix when at Fuji in 2007, but his best result at Suzuka is a third in 2009. Suzuka is one of the all-time classic circuits on the Formula One calendar, and many regard its figure of 8 layout, which is dominated by demanding high-speed curves, as an even greater challenge for a driver than the historic Spa-Francorchamps track in Belgium. The race, which is held this season on 5 October, has been dominated in recent years by Red Bull's Sebastian Vettel, who won in 2009, 2010, 2012 and 2013 and finished second to Hamilton's then McLaren teammate Jenson Button in 2011. And outside Nigeria now, the US and 5 Arab allies have launched the first strike against Islamic State militants in Syria. The Pentagon says warplanes, drones and Tomahawk missiles were used to target several areas, including strongholds Raqqa. Syria activists say at least 70 militants were killed, though Syria says it was told in advance. The US says it gave no warning of the timing of attacks on specific targets. The militant control large swathes of Syria and Iraq. The US has already launched about 190 airstrikes in Iraq since August. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad says he supports any international effort to combat terrorism in Syria. Well, this is where we touch down on the show tonight. I'm Frank Omalape, wishing you a pleasant night rest. Thanks for watching.